What's up? Respect. This is Elray Patrick, and I decided to sketch for 30 days straight, and I'm going to share how they look. And it's something that I just did out of a whim because I wanted to do something every single day that would keep me in the zone and somewhat in the loop of doing something creative, while also taking advantage of the minimal time that I have for such thing. And it is open for mistakes, for correction, for learning and all that kind of stuff. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm just glad that I managed to do it really consistently for 30 days straight, and I'm planning to continue it. But in the meantime, I'll go with the 30 days that I've worked on this one. The thing about this first is, I'm gonna say a heads up. I wanted to learn how to sketch without learning how to sketch. I remember one of my closest friends when I was still in the academy. He's an art teacher, and he told me that before you break the rules, you should know the rules. And I barely know the rules of sketching, and it's just that I got to learn how to sketch through continuous practice when I was, I think it started when I was 18. Then it became a hobby that I enjoyed doing, to now being more consistent with it and maybe applying some of those skills. I did see some of how to sketch kind of things and just barely any of them, and then apply them from how I think they should be applied. So it's a bunch of freestyle in terms of how these sketches were made. And I just use the pencils that I have here, these four things. I do not have a sharpener and I do not have an eraser. So all of this is just based on what the day feels like and based on how these pencils will work with me in terms of the ideas that I have in mind. And one of the things that I've done for the past 30 days is to draw actual people because I'm not good at drawing faces of people, like the anatomy of a human being. I'm not really good at that. All I think I can say this without being negative about myself. I think when I draw animated characters, I think it's easy for me. It may not be the best of them, but they all look decent because again, it's just lines and not much curves or shading compared to actual human beings. So it's a really interesting kind of thing. And first off, the things that I've drawn here are mostly my favorite artists. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them and at the same time show the based images so you can compare how they look like. And again, I've decided to try different styles in here. Some of them are I tried to make them a little animated, a little different, but I hope they somewhat resemble them. So uh, let's just jump right into this one. Okay, here we go. So the first thing that I have here is this image right here, which is the one that I started with. This is actually Wendy from Red Velvet. I think this is from one of their promotional images for Cosmic for their 10th anniversary as a group. So it's my first try at it. I think I made a mistake with the nose in here. So I decided to somewhat make way to have some different kind of shading. I do think the form is okay, but the face wasn't much of. It's not. It's not really good in my eyes. It's a first day. It's a first day, and second one, I think this is Sugi from Red Velvet too. I didn't do good with the nose in here. I didn't know how to do it yet, and the eyes aren't aligned much. So it's one of the problems that I've had for some of the drawings. It's a struggle to draw hands for me, and how this one isn't proportional to this one. So it's one of the things that I've been having a hard time with. And I do think that it should be thinner in terms of the body here. So that's one of my mistakes too. But again, it's a learning curve. Learning curve. A learning process for me. This is day three. I think this one. Wait, is this Yeri or Joy? I couldn't even remember. I'll just correct this in editing in post. So I do think I had a mistake with the lips. It should be a bit um, upwards instead of downwards. Because I think she was doing a smile here. And I made a mistake with the hair. Shouldn't be this kind of curve in here. Should be a little different in order to justify the way the hair's movement in here. the same time, I think the eyes are okay. It's one of the things that I'm actually okay with eyes because it's not really open. But then day four, I do believe this is Joy supposedly. Oh yeah, yeah. I think this one's Yeri. This one's supposed to be Joy. I did not do well with the nose again. It's one of the problems that I have. I'm having problems with dimples too. So it's kind of a difficult thing. But I do think that the body composition here is okay. The fingers, not so much. Not so much with the fingers. It's a struggle. The fingers is really a struggle with. The face shape too is not that good. It's a bit thin on this side. I could have adjusted it more, but again, I do not have an eraser for this exercise. It's the challenge of this sketch anyway. Okay, yeah. And this one I think is when things started to somewhat improve in terms of the look. I did change the nose here, made it a little bit of a straight line, and again, it's kind of animated in a vibe. This is a one is Irene. I made a mistake here in the hands. I'm noticing my mistakes, but it's not me being negative about it, but instead explaining what I've been learning for the past 30 days. So I think I like this one. This one too is a bit different. This is Wendy actually. I think the reason why it looked different is because I made a mistake early on, and instead of forcing the sketch to be similar to the original look, I decided to just go with it. So it's a different kind of vibe, kind of a different art style for 1D. So again, this is for Cosmic. So that's what I did in here. And for the seventh day, I decided to sketch one of my favorite pictures of them, which is the five of them looking at the ocean. So it's one of the best pictures I've ever seen of them for their 10th anniversary. And I think this is one of my favorites too. And the thing about this is that there's no face showing, so I think it's an advantage. When it's just something like this, it's a bit more easier for me. I know more and then easier, that's redundant. But the point is, I've had a better, I think I felt better sketching this compared to the other six. So this is day seven, one of my favorite sketches from this exercise. And day eight, I tried learning more, and this one is Ayu. It's one of my favorite pictures from her here concert in the Philippines. I think it's Here or Here, Hereh. I'm sorry. This one is supposed to be Irene during the first pitch. Didn't do well there. Here too, I didn't do well. This is supposed to be Wendy for Wish You Had. I know. I apologize, Wendy. I didn't do well. I made a mistake here. And after realizing that I made a mistake with the thickness, I'm using the 2H pencil, but still I had a mistake here and I was like, oh no. I had to go with it. I had no choice. The point is that I cannot repeat anything for that day. Whatever mistake I do, I have to work on that. Similar with day 11 here, this is supposed to be Sugi, but I made a mistake with the nose. Look at how the eyes, the nose, and the mouth are not proportional to one another. That's one of the things that I've mentioned that one of my colleagues used to say they should be proportional. I mean, there's no perfect facial structure, but there's closeness to the proportion that we should do in order for them to look okay. So this one is a mistake, and I said to myself when I drew this, I'll do better. So I decided to draw better, and I think this one is much better. Yeah, that's why I designated a page for this one. This is Jisoo and this is Sugi, and I know it's not exactly their faces, but I decided to base it on them and just try to learn how to do shading instead of thick lines in this one. So I think this one is much better. So I think this is also one of my favorites actually. I really love this one. And this one is no longer K-pop, but again, I'll go back to K-pop later. But this is one of my favorite films, Fallen Angels. One of my favorite in terms of the vibes, and not really in the storytelling. It's more of a vibes kind of film. And with its simplicity and artistry, I know simplicity and artistry might sound ironic, but with its simple story, but with its artistic visual, this is one of the favorite scenes that I have there. It's basically the two of them riding on a motorcycle, yes, without helmets. Please don't do that. And the vibe of that on the tunnel is really good. This is such an amazing site. And again, there are a lot of mistakes in here in terms of the the facial structure, but I kind of liked it that way. So the the intensity with the lines here, the shading is actually somewhat forced and not a mistake compared to the other ones. I actually like the way this one went. This one, again, is one of the things that I was like, this doesn't look like her. I was trying to draw Yeji here, and it didn't go well. So I was like, I'm gonna draw Yeji again on day 15, and this one is a different version. I did have a mistake here in the nose, but I think from here to here, you can see the clear difference of which one looks more Yeji. So I do believe that, okay? I do believe that this one looks Yeji more. I think it's the eyes that gave it. Here, she's not, I think that's one of Yeji's best features, her eyes and her eyebrows, I think. So I think I did better here. So I prefer this one. Of course, again, it's a learning thing. And this one too, yes, I like this one. I think, is this Wendy? I'm trying to remember if I tried to draw Wendy here or base it off of her. I forgot already, but this is one of my favorites. This one's too is supposed to be Wendy, I think. I like the way I try with the hair here, with some differences in terms of the style here. I combined some realistic features with straight lines in here for this one because I do think that it's much better to combine different ideas that I have. So I like this one, how it turned out. Oh, this one's Joy because it was her birthday, I think, for her birthday. I did make a mistake with the hearts in here. So you can notice one heart is bigger than the other, but it's kind of a vibe too. So I think I like this one. I think the nose again, I'm not really good at it. It's one of the flaws that this one has, but I do love the vibe that it gives. This one's supposed to be Joy too, but it's noticeable where I made the mistake here. It's with the nose. And then I was like, oh, and the eyes are too close. And then basically one of the problems that I've had is sometimes I go heavy with my linings that I will never be able to recover from them. So instead, I would just have to go with the flow for it, because sometimes I go with some outlines and I can still manage to make it just like a shading kind of vibe, like this ones. These are just um, outlines originally, but it became like part of the sketch, so it shows. This one I kind of like this one too, but I don't think for some reason it does look better face to face compared to digital when I take a video picture of it. This is one of my favorite videos. It's Joy and Ray from IVE. That video of them just vibing with one another, I really love that. And I think I did better with Joy here. And I think with the problem with Ray here is that I again had thick lines in here for her face. But overall, like I like this drawing a lot. This is day 20. So we're getting there. This one is Karina, supposedly. Yeah. So it's kind of a vibe to like those caricature kind of vibes where you have a bigger kind of like eyes or something. That's one kind of the vibe that I was going for here. So I kind of like how this one went. A bit different with the other sketches. And this one's supposed to be Yeri. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm having problems with sketching the lips or the mouth and with teeth being shown. I'm still struggling how to sketch teeth, and that's one of the things that I had to work on. So this is day 22. Day 23, I think this one's okay. It's just I had a sketch before of Wendy using the same idea, but it didn't go well. So I try to do it again, but it's the nose really that I was having a problem with. It's one of those things wherein when you try to take a look at a picture and you cannot see the shadow of where to put it so that the nose will be formed. That's one of the struggles that I've been having, and think, but I do think it looks okay. Looks okay. This one is one of the biggest mistakes I've had. This is still supposed to be edgy, but I made a mistake with the lines here and with the nose and the mouth, and I was like, oh no, how will I save this one? So I decided to go with one of the styles that I've learned and one of the styles that I've been practicing in my journals. It's one of those sketches that I do, but not here. When I do my journals, I sketch wherein I just keep doing squiggles without stopping. I don't know why I kind of like that kind of vibe where you just follow where the lines will go to. So in order to save this certain sketch, I decided to go with a different art style. So that's why this one stands out on that sense. It's a bit different. And this one is day 25. Again, the number of times that I've drawn this thing is a lot. I've even painted this one. The difference between the painting version of this and the other sketches I've had is I think I've learned more about putting them properly together. I think it's more noticeable with um the patterns in here. I think I just had problems with putting the faces because it's too small. The faces I've made here are too small just for them to fit the image. So one of the things I've learned, I'm still not good with making small faces and their features to be different from one another. So I just went with this kind of art style wherein they all look similar with their faces. So it's not realistic or photorealistic kind of vibe. It's just this one because I really love Day One so much, and this concept photo for their album or their album cover for the Red is one of my favorites. So to go with that. This one is one of my favorite parts too. This is day 26. This is Yunya. I was thinking of drawing some other people that I like, and Yunya is one of my favorite people on the internet. So I saw this picture of her, so I based it off of Yunya. And again, it might not be Yunya at her finest, I know, but I based it off her instead because I was having troubles getting her facial features in the beginning. And then when I drew the eyes, it was really different already. And I was like, huh. Instead of forcing it to look like Yunya when I made the mistake with the eyes, like if you look at this one, you know it's not Yunya already. I just followed through and then just based it off of her features, and it's like an animated version of Yunya, if that makes sense. And of course, the original one. If this is the clone, this is the original one. I'm just kidding. This is Leve. So I based it off of her profile picture in Instagram. It's a bit different again and kind of like similar with the art style here. So I have to follow through on that one. So we have Yunya here and Leve. I like these two drawings here. So I'm really proud of them. This one is Chaperone. Yes, I'm not. I don't know why I decided to go with this kind of art style for those three sketches, but I do love this one too. This is Chaperone. So I combined the squiggles, the hatching here, cross hatching, and the squiggles again, and again the not photorealistic vibe, the kind of animated version of them. This is Chaperone. It's the funny thing is this short story. I had my first time applying for a job face to face back in July, I think, and I met people there, and I don't know their names anymore because it's just a one-time thing during the job hiring process, and they introduced me to Chaperone. So I may not remember their names, but I thank them for introducing me to Chaperone. This one is a Suji inspired sketch again for day 29. Yes, again with the face a bit. I think because of the way I started with Nunya, Leva, and Chaperone, I adapted it with Sugi here. So I kind of like the vibe here. I think the hands do look better here compared to the other sketches that I've had, and it's more proportional in terms of the body. I really got this one. I think so. Day 30, yes. This was just yesterday, and it was after the Red Velvet fan cons. I was really exhausted. I was planning to really sketch everything. Like I was supposed to start the sketch here, but I put it on the side, and that somewhat sabotaged this side for Sugi. So I apologize for that. So I had to make my way and figure out how to make everything here make sense. So I do realize that while in the process of sketching, if I try to put faces in here, it will not fit well because it's so small that I'm gonna have a problem with being consistent with the features. So I decided to just go with a minimalistic vibe here and just stick with it. And I do like this still too. I do love this one. And this is the end of the 30 days of sketching that I've had. And again, there's a lot of things that I still have to learn. And I'm really happy that I decided to start with this journey. I still have more to go. I think I would like to do 100. So I've been sketching for years, but not really like human beings with their actual facial features as basis. So it's giving me more creativity. And again, in hindsight, a lot of people might think that sketching is just for artists. I don't believe that. I think it's for everyone, especially for me. I've never been gifted to draw. Even in our family, I think even though we have people who are good at sketching in our family, it was never for me. And my brother's really good at it ever since we were young. But the funny thing is, I started sketching because I had a crush on one of one of the people at school in college, and she's really good at sketching. And I was like, yeah, I have to learn how to sketch and start posting them so I could get her attention or something. I know it didn't work. It didn't work, but um, it's too late to stop. And I actually started enjoying sketching without forcing myself to do it just for attention. It's a hobby that I now really, really cherish. 30 days, and I'm gonna start with the 31st sketch today too. So it's really something that I've been enjoying doing, and I plan on branching out. I know, but these people might get sick of me just talking about Red Velvet a lot. I love them that much, but I'm looking forward to sketching different artists too. I think I've always sketched women here because there's an idea that I'm trying to work on because I really want to draw like an idea of a woman, of an image of her, and make it as a basis for a different project. But in the meantime, I think um, this one opens more opportunities for me to. I think the only guy that I sketch here is from Dawn from Fallen Angels. Yeah, this one. Yeah, but I'll do more. Don't worry. I had a sketch of Eminem, then I didn't continue with it, and it's actually something that was starting off to be good, but then if I'm not mistaken, I left my pencil case at my previous job, and I never got to get it back, and I'm not gonna get it back anyway. So I think it will find its way to the ones who need to use it. So I'll just buy new pencils, I think, and I need a fastener. What do you call that? What's that? A sharpener. I need a sharpener. I had one, but I can see it now. So I had to look for that and use it in order for me to maximize these things for sketching. And it's just something that I will do. So I'll see you guys once I go to 50. So 30, 50, and 100. So we will keep doing this until now. I'll keep doing this. I kind of enjoy it now. Like, even though with the number of changes with my schedule at work, I've I push myself that I should have an hour for all of these artistic things that I really want to do, from sketching to writing poems to making videos. I have to dedicate an hour of my day for that. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm not really gifted in terms of sketching. I had bad skills with it, but I think the reason why I keep improving here is because I decided to be consistent with it. So maybe that will help others out and be open to mistakes. And for those that are already good, if you are nice to those who are learning, they will really appreciate that. And I'm glad that I have people around me who are nice to me with my sketches. And of course, there's no problem with getting criticism. And like I mentioned, I have a colleague, an art teacher, and he's really nice to me. And when he gives criticism at my work, he does it in order to for me to learn, and I take it. And he actually sits down with me and teaches me different styles, and it's something that I really cherish the most. So just putting it out there, because I'm lucky enough to have supportive people around me when I started learning these kind of things. So I'm just opening this one up. So maybe some people who wishes to learn how to sketch too, they need to hear it. So I'm telling you, just go with it. Just do it every day, and just do it every day and learn from your mistakes. Because if you do something every day and just go with it the same you started with it, I think that's not the best for you. Because you're not learning if you just continue with the same thing from the first day to the day 100. There should be something different. And if you make mistakes and go back, like feel like your day 50 looks like your day one, there's nothing wrong with that. Some days are not good days, and some days you don't feel like sketching, but if you let that take over you, you let the momentum end just because of a bad day. I think that would be detrimental. And I'm not telling that you should somewhat evade what's happening around you, but it's just that let this be your escape. Let this be let these blank pages be the place where you leave traces of what that day was or how that day went. And when people looked at these sketches, they'd be like, "Oh, what happened there? Oh, no, nothing." You can say it like that, but deep inside that day, you weren't doing good, and those sketches helped you let that out. So I'm yapping now, but anyway, I do enjoy yapping. So thank you for that. So just go with it, keep sketching, and let's see what traces will be colored in the future. This one's for me. Peace out.